Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Shine Wealthy with Chris Williams. I'm Chris Williams, and I'm super excited to share my guest today, Melissa Rose. Melissa, welcome. I am so glad to have you here with us.
Thank
Yeah,
you. Thank you. I'm excited for today.
I know. I am too. I cannot wait to share all of the amazing ways that you are helping people recover from autoimmune conditions and a whole host of different things. And so tell us a little bit about you and what you do. I know that your team is all over the place. So we just got to chat a little bit about Montana. So you're based in Montana, but you've got practitioners and people all over the place that can really also help remotely or on Zoom virtually too.
Yes. So I'm Melissa Rose. You know that. I'm a functional medicine practitioner, which means I'm the geek of the team that likes to dig into the tests and
Yay, the
figure out what's going on. Oh, golly. We have two functional medicine practitioners that work with us. Robin is also fairly local, but we also have an internationally known mindset coach Matt Rowe, that works with us in the mindset space, because as we have worked in the autoimmune and rare autoimmune condition field for quite some time, one of the reoccurring themes is how trauma and stress has really been one of the big drivers. So we can test, we can really work on what's happening in the body. We can give the body the tools that it needs to recover, but we also need to help the mind and the heart do the same thing, because one of our goals for our clients is sustainable recovery. It's one thing to get better, but it's a whole nother animal to be able to remain there and continue on that wellness trajectory. So we really have worked hard to put all the pieces in place for our people. And we just last month, we brought on a veteran mental health practitioner, specialist, whatever you want to call her. She has been working in the field of trauma for over 15 years. This is a passion for her, because she understands how deeply it affects not just the mind space and the emotional space, but our body responds to it directly. So as we're in that recovery journey, we're getting better and we're like, oh, awesome. Our body gives us new opportunities to look at the traumas, to look at the stress pieces, and then we can work on recovery there too.
Oh, this is beautiful. I love that this is such a beautiful holistic approach. It's not just one piece in nutrition. It's really the body, the physical, the emotional, the mental. And we know that those all work together. And yet in our Western world, we tend to kind of separate them. We're like, well, we just need to, work on the physical. And I'm so glad that now science is actually supporting all of these three pieces being such critical components to our healing, that we don't just want to treat one. We don't want to just kind of put that Band-Aid on whatever is happening here. We actually want to look upstream and find out some of the root causes that are happening. That's one of the reasons why I personally love functional medicine, because it allows you being the detective. Thank God there's people like you out there that are like,
the geeks
upstream. Like, we've got all of these broken bodies down here, and we can put and fix them, but like something is happening up there. And if we can figure out what is happening up there upstream, we won't have all of these chronic issues happening. So thank you for doing this work. This is so awesome.
Love it.
Yeah.
It's why I breathe.
Tell us about autoimmune, because this is a very specific, piece, and we see so many people with autoimmune issues. Like, I think back to even just 25 years ago, my oldest son is 26, and now we know that he's got psoriatic arthritis, which is an autoimmune condition, but we didn't realize back then. And now we're seeing all of this. So can you share a couple things? What is autoimmune, and what are some of the ways that, or things that we call autoimmune condition? So we know so people can kind of identify and be like, oh
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Mhm. So I kind of identify the autoimmune piece first.
Mhm,
So literally what that means is the immune system has a gas pedal to the floor all the time,
mm,
or the gas pedal is not even working.
mm,
So the immune system, in a perfect world, when the immune system is working really, really well, it is surveilling everything in your body, and it's okay with 98, 99% of everything, and it doesn't flare unless your body has a serious issue. Then you want it to flare. It is your
mhm, mhm,
protection, right?
mhm,
It is your soldiers on the battlefield taking care of
mhm,
you. But when we have something that is causing the body to just the immune system to be full bore constantly
mhm,
or be suppressed so it's not
mhm,
even able to react well, that's what we call an autoimmune condition.
mm,
But there's another thing of the body flipping back and forth between the two because it's not
mhm,
being able to regulate itself well. We see this often in things like mast cell
mhm,
activation. The body is just not able to regulate.
mm,
So basically, autoimmune means the immune system is either fully on or very depressed or flipping back and forth between the two and doesn't have the good modulation that a normal
mm,
immune system would or a healthy immune system.
mhm, mhm,
Our immune systems never get unnormal, they
mhm,
just get a little bit messed up sometimes.
mhm. Yeah.
And the thing to think about with this is the body never, and please underline that, put it in bold, put it in bright colors because our body never does anything without a reason. So when
Mm,
we think about an autoimmune condition, often we think of, oh my gosh, it's here to stay. There's nothing we can do about it. Just get ready to get sicker, take all the
mm,
medicine.
mhm, mhm,
When literally it's the body going, look, help, I've done the best I can and I'm done. I don't know what to do now. And I
mhm,
need you to help me.
mhm,
That's when we lean in with the investigation and go, okay, what's going on? Let's figure this
mhm.
out. And not with fear, but with excitement
Yeah. Yeah.
because we literally can figure it out.
What are some of the investigation pieces that you use to gather that information so that you can figure out what's happening?
Mm, I love this. So, one of the very first things I do is an in depth timeline and health history
Mm,
because so many times we get to see how the body starts to build and the dysregulation starts to come in. So
mhm,
for some people, it's a slow progression. For some people, it's a traumatic event,
mhm,
and then the body just can't recover from that. And then we get the autoimmune situation going on.
mm,
So a timeline and symptoms questionnaire, health history, very thorough. This gives us the working pieces for then go, okay, we suspect this and this and this and this. How do you feel about doing additional testing?
mhm, mhm,
I love to do functional testing simply because we get to see if we suspect mold toxicity, for example,
mm,
that is causing some of this imbalance and causing some of the neurological issues or really, emotional issues or whatever, chemical imbalance. It's a really good thing to be able to understand exactly, do we have a mold toxicity problem, but what is it? Because
mm.
the other piece of this, and I'm kind of landing on mold, and I'm not sure why, maybe somebody listening to this
This
needs
needs
to
to
hear
hear about
this,
mold, right?
is that if we know what the mold toxicity is, we can then say, okay, check your house, check your office, see where
Mm,
you're still being exposed to this.
mhm,
Because we can do all the good work in the world and we can have minimal results if
mhm,
whatever it is that is triggering this in the body
mhm,
is still, you're still being exposed to it.
mhm,
Same thing with things like heavy metal toxicity, environmental toxins,
mhm,
things like that. Even parasites, are you in an environment that you're being reintroduced to these all the time? So really doing some testing and understanding exactly, or as close as we can to
mhm,
exactly what is happening in the body and what is really being some of these trigger pieces. helps
Mhm.
us to be better at addressing them and making sure that you're not still being exposed.
Mm. What are some other testing pieces besides like testing for mold or heavy metals, or what are some other testing things that you look for?
Oof.
Because I'm geeking out with you now.
I love it. I
So I'm
love
like,
it.
"Ooh, what else do you get to do?"
So I'm going to tell you one that I have actually sitting on my desk right now.
Oh,
This
fun.
is a very new, this is one that I'm taking for me. This is, it doesn't look like anything but a box with a name on it, but it's a neural zoomer. So
Oh.
what this allows me to do is, so you guys kind of know my story a little bit. I was diagnosed with MS when I was 33, fully recovered, good to go. Have been for
Amazing.
quite some time, but I want to see what's happening in my brain. I want to see what's happening in my myelin sheath. I want to see what is happening in my body as a whole. So
Mm.
with the neural zoomer, this is one of the newest tests that I'm leaning into. I work with a lot of people with neurological disorders,
Mhm.
multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's, autism. I use this test for people with autism. A lot of times, autistic folks, little ones especially, are not verbal. They can't
Mhm.
tell you what's going on. They can't
Mhm.
tell you what hurts. So this is a really good way. This one and an oats test
Mhm.
really help me see just so much of what's happening in their body because they can't tell me.
Yeah.
Um, but I love this test just because I get to see so much. And I'm actually getting ready to teach a whole class on this. But
Oh my gosh, how fun. How
that's going to
fun.
be the bonus for the workshop for people that sign on early. I'm going to be doing an hour teaching on this test, really leaning into this, simply because I feel like any way I can share information for people, it gives you tools, it gives you knowledge, and then you can make really good choices for yourself.
Yeah.
So a lot of the testing that I use is like food sensitivity testing, toxicity testing. That's huge. I use an oats test often to really get to see what's happening in the systems in the body.
What
I
is
use
what's an oat test?
organic acids test.
Ah,
It's
cool.
powerful simply because it shows us what's happening in the systems in the body and what is not working. Like we
Wow.
get to see the ATP system, the actual cellular energy protection system. We get to see that well. We get to see where the breakdown is. We get to see, is your body doing, what's your body doing with oxalates? Is that a problem? We get to see where are the imbalances in the nutritional space.
Mm-hmm.
But the biggest, what I use that for the most is looking at systems in the body.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're not like a car. We're not a
Yeah.
carburetor and a tailpipe and
Yeah.
tires. We
Yeah.
just switch out the part that's broken,
I know, right?
right? We're this beautiful, brilliant organism that is just so interconnected and flowing
Hmm.
that to understand the systems that are sideways, we can then support that system. And when that system starts to come back online, the other systems can stop trying to pinch it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I do a lot of hormone testing, a lot of hormone work with ladies and gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
Gentlemen, hear me
Yeah.
on this.
Yeah.
Simply because if your body is a little bit sideways, your hormones are still running your body just like for us gals.
Mm-hmm.
And often that's a piece that's overlooked for especially people, gentlemen that have neurological or autoimmune things going on. So I'm just kind of running through in my head the different tests that I use. I lean a lot into like stool testing, seeing exactly what's going on in the microbiome.
Mm-hmm.
Um, one of the things that I've learned working in this neurological space is that, especially when gluten doesn't come up as a food sensitivity or a food allergy,
Mm-hmm.
there are still antigens that are happening in the body that deeply affect us neurologically, and
Mm.
it will not show up on either a food sensitivity or a food allergy, like a skin prick,
Wow.
that you're sensitive to gluten at all.
Wow.
So some of the deeper testing that I do, especially for my neurological clients, is that.
Mm.
And we can use learned some of those pieces from that neurology test I was just showing you. And as far as I know, that test is not available from a like a neurology specialist.
Wow.
So I love that we're kind of, I almost feel like we're getting ahead of the curve just a
Yes,
little
you are. Holy
bit.
cow. That's exciting. I
But
want to hop back just real
it's
quickly.
available.
Oh, whoops. To the
Oh, it's okay.
to autoimmune. So, we think about autoimmune, at least in my brain, and I want you to kind of fill in the gaps that I have around autoimmune too, is Hashimoto's,
Mhm,
arthritis,
mhm,
eczema,
mhm.
psoriatic arthritis, psoriasis.
Yep.
What else kind of falls in that realm of autoimmune?
Oh, there is like almost 200 autoimmune diagnoses.
Wow, I had no idea there was that many. I thought maybe there
Mhm.
was 10. I had no idea. Wow.
No. So
Wow. So
literally just do a
incredible.
search.
Mhm.
But the thing I want you to hear, like I encourage you to do the search and look at all the names. But when we boil it down,
Mhm.
the connecting factor between all of those is how is the immune system working?
Yeah. Either it's on, depressed, or it's going back and forth. Yeah.
And then looking for what is causing that imbalance.
Mhm.
So one of the things to think about when you have a diagnosis
Mhm.
of an autoimmune, and I'm going to break some people's glass ceiling here with this, but I would encourage you to think about this as I have been diagnosed with the
Mhm.
symptoms that say this is what's
Mhm.
happening in the body.
Yeah.
So, say multiple sclerosis.
Mhm.
It is actually a term that is used as a diagnosis to describe what is happening in the body.
Right. To describe the symptoms. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. Beautiful.
So then we're able to think of that as my body is experiencing this, and here's the name of what my body is experiencing.
Mhm.
Because when we take on and start to own that diagnosis, and I hear this often for folks, and my heart just goes out because I did this too, is I have this, I
Mhm.
have MS, and this is why I, like MS in our heads, become the cause,
Yeah.
not the result.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
encourage you to flip that
Mm.
because psoriatic arthritis, psoriasis, eczema, the things that we think of as the common
Mhm.
autoimmune diseases, Hashimoto's, Graves, they're names of what's happening in the body.
Mhm.
And anytime we can look at it that way and we can say, okay, the body never does anything for just
Just to
kicks and
do.
giggles,
Yeah.
right? There's
Yes.
always a reason. So when we uncover that reason and we address that, then your body has the chance to heal.
Mm.
And another thing to kind of lean into right now is that your body's default setting is to be well.
Mm.
If your body doesn't hate you, your body's not broke,
Mhm.
you are capable of being well.
Mm.
Fibromyalgia, you name it, the
Mm.
big, hairy, scary diagnoses, your body can be well.
Mm.
And I want you to lean into that. This is a lot of information coming at you.
Yeah. 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 Oh my gosh. I love this paradigm shift because I think so many people feel like they are their diagnoses
Mhm.
instead of, I love this is so beautiful. It allows you to take back your power as well
Exactly.
and to be friends with your body instead of fighting against your body. So important. So important.
And so natural.
Mhm. And it feels so much better, right?
Oh,
Like if you know that your
yeah,
body is actually working for you, even though you might be experiencing something uncomfortable, then you're able to go, oh, okay, like what is happening that's causing this instead of why is my body doing this to me?
exactly.
Mhm.
And to know that symptoms are a cry for help.
Yeah.
It's not your body hating on you. It's
Yep.
literally your body going, golly, I've given you everything I could. I'm
Yeah.
stuck. I'm in a corner. Please help me
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
need your help now, your conscious help now.
Mhm. Yeah. 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 It's like the signal, right? Putting up the
Yeah,
flares.
it's a gift.
Yeah. Oh, how beautiful. Melissa, you've got an amazing event coming up in a
Mhm.
couple more weeks, right? The beginning of September. I want you to share about that because I think that this is going to be so impactful for so many people who want to explore this topic a little bit more, go in deeper, and actually have some
Mm.
practical, how-tos for this. Could you share a little bit about what you've got coming up?
Oh, I would love to. I'm so excited about this workshop. And we called it a workshop because it is.
Mhm.
It's not something that you want to come in and just, have a cup of tea and listen. You're welcome to do that. But to
Mhm.
get all of the gold out of this, I challenge you to lean in and do the work.
Mhm.
Bring your pen and paper, bring your brain, bring your heart.
Mhm.
Because in this workshop, we are literally like, I'm going to start out teaching you through. You'll have already done this before you even enter the training, but you'll receive a very comprehensive questionnaire. And using this questionnaire, we'll be able to identify the top 3 problem areas in your body. And I'll be teaching through each problem area and first steps to begin addressing those
Mhm.
and testing. If you want to go into testing, what tests would be the best to use to understand more about what's happening in the body.
Mhm.
And then Matt will be taking you through the mindset piece, really leaning into what in the mind and what in your belief system is actually holding you back or could be a trigger for cause
Mhm.
of the imbalance that you're experiencing in your body, and then walk you through how to change those. We'll be working on your top 3 again of moving those beliefs
Mhm.
into a more healthy space.
Mm.
Um, Robin's going to be leaning in and really teaching you how to get the gold out of your one time a year health. When you go have your physical, you always get blood work.
Yep. Yep.
It is pure gold. And your practitioner is very likely never going to teach you this. I
Yeah.
want you to get really comfortable with what you can learn from that blood work because it's pivotal.
Mm.
And then our mental wellness practitioner, she's been in the trauma space for over 15 years. This is her passion, is going to lead you through the connection between autoimmune or chronic illness and trauma and stress, really leaning into the trauma piece.
Mhm.
We see this so much in our work. And then the third day, we're bringing it all together
Oh my
so that
gosh,
you'll
I'm
have
gonna be there.
clear pieces, right? Oh, I would love to have you there.
I would love.
Um,
Yeah, I'm gonna send this to my son too, by the way, those of you that are listening.
Yay,
My son actually has psoriatic arthritis, so I'm like, dude,
bring it on.
you need to
That's
go see Melissa now, go to this workshop and learn, and yeah,
yeah.
very cool.
So our intention with this is to really help you dig in and get first steps, maybe second steps, maybe third steps of what you need to address what's going on for you.
Yeah,
Because a lot of times we're like, okay, this is happening in my body. I don't know what to do about it.
yeah, totally. Yeah. And you need a team on your side, right?
Mhm.
Somebody who can play the detective, somebody who is immersed in studying this so that you
Yeah.
can really understand not just what's happening, but what to do with that information so that you can then,
Exactly.
I love that you're really helping people kind of see, okay, step 1, step 2, step 3, so that there's
Mhm.
hope and there's also an
Mm.
understanding of how this can go and not just feel so like, oh, I don't know, I guess I'm just stuck with this for the
Mhm.
rest of my life. I'm just going to hurt all the time, or I'm just going to whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to my logical brain and my belief that we have the inner wisdom, if we can tap into that, to know how to be well.
Mm,
We don't necessarily always have to have, like a lot of times when we're really, really sick, and I'm speaking from experience,
Mhm.
we seriously don't know what to do. And we're leaning out to anybody that can give us some wisdom, some help. What do we do?
Yeah.
And we tend to give away our power to someone else.
Mhm.
And in this workshop and everything I do, one of my goals is to help you take back your power. We are sovereign beings.
Mm.
We get to say yes or no.
Mhm. Mhm. Oh, Melissa, this has been amazing. Thank you for doing this
Thank
work that
you.
you're doing. Thank you for supporting people in these ways, especially in the autoimmune world where it can be so confusing and
Yeah.
so frustrating and just depressing and lacking hope. Like this work is just so needed. Thank you for being willing to be the detective and riding this journey with people with your heart and your brain and all of it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, we will pop the links. Be sure to check the description. We're going to share a whole bunch of juicy goodness so that you can connect with Melissa either via social media, via email. She's got a free gift so that you can connect with her and have a consultation. We'll share the workshop so that you can join her over there. And again, thank you so much for doing this work, Melissa. It has been so awesome hearing all about you and the way that you help people.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me join you today. Like I
Yeah.
said, I kind of fangirl a little bit over you. So,
All right,
oh
everybody.
gosh.
We'll see you next time. And be sure to click like, subscribe, check out all the the goodness and all the links. And we'll see you soon.